Can you listen, please?
I think it's as well for youngsters to understand that it was a terrible business and not a lot of them came back.
The people that we're commemorating today are all old scholars.
44 is only a small fraction of scholars of the school who were killed in the First World War.
And what I want to remind you is that these were young people who were very much like you.
Should an incident be detected in your carriage,
can you let the adults go first? Because you'll eat yours quicker, I can guarantee that. I know chocolate. If you've not got a bottle of water with you, take one with your breakfast as well.
If you require any assistance, you can call a crew member using the call points.
If you cast your eyes outside, the two sides in the First World War would have come to a stalemate because, of course, the ground is very flat. And then for the next 4 years, they fought backwards and forwards, largely over the same ground. And that's why there are so many casualties where battles took place.
We are standing close to history of unimaginable suffering and death. We stand where countless bereaved men and women and children mourn those they have loved and lost, and particularly for this, our old scholar whose grave is in front of us.
It causes me to be quite reflective, think how lucky certainly our own post-war generation is that we haven't had to go through this.
To come here, I found it quite moving.
Is that a tear you were suppressing?
Yeah, it's just very emotional.
Isn't it?
I know Howard Claude Charles very well on paper. I've now seen his gravestone.
Now, if you have a look in your booklets, Mr. Billingham, who is with us today, has written an introduction about our old scholars.
I think it recognises the 44 who we know lost their life in the Great War.
On average, more than 5,600 soldiers died on each day of the war.
And I found out today that 5,600 people died each day for 4 years.
What's it like down there?
I thought it was going to be tiny, but the whole thing's massive.
What would it have been like, do you think, to serve as a soldier down in trenches like these?
Incomprehendibly disgusting, horrible. I want to go into the armed forces when I'm older, but having a look at this, and because when they'd like come up over here, and when they had to go over the top, charging at a German machine gun, you know.
Langemark is our next stop with German section. Thank you very much.
All of these graves are very interesting.
These motion pictures show Australian troops marching past the remains of Cloth Hall in Ypres and later marching towards Menin Road.
We're going on to the Menin Gate, where my great-uncle Fred's name is recorded on one of the panels.
Smith, Robinson, Owen, Oliver.
I think my mother and my grandmother, who are both dead, would be both very pleased that we actually came here.
I'm going to be fascinated to know what they've got from the day. I'm sure it will have done something. I think it would be almost impossible for it not to do so.
I was very shocked actually, yeah.
Thank you.